Back to heart. Sun still rising on a worn out town, paint peeling off them old brick signs. Folks work hard, keep their heads down, trying to hold on to better times. Used to leave your door unlocked at night, now everybody's got a camera on. Still got faith if we get it right, we can fix what's gone wrong. Ain't about talk, ain't about show, it's about the way we live, the way we know. Let's get back to dirt roads, back to porch lights, never standing up when it ain't polite. Cold beer, hot true stars up above, a little less noise and a whole lot of love. Red, white, blue ain't a trend we chase, it's sweat on your shirt and calloused hands grace. If we're gonna stand, we don't stand apart.
Welcome into Apex News Above the Noise. I am Kyle Thompson.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading an email. And I'm Craig Blanton.
Focus.
Focus. I was just checking something.
All right. Well, 7 stories tonight, Craig. It has been a busy weekend, along with some weather updates that we will get into. But before we do get into all that, if this is your first time joining us, welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight on Apex News Above the Noise, a show that we built so that you can get all of the facts, not any of the spin. I'm always joined here every weekday with my good friend Craig Blanton as we discuss all the news that is important to everyone around you, so that you can sound a little smarter around the water cooler or around the boardroom or anything else. All right. So if you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe. Click on that notification bell so that you are notified every single time we go live, and you will be notified as well. Craig, it's been a busy weekend. I don't know what else to say about it. Seems like every Monday we come in here and there's a lot to talk about. How was your weekend?
My weekend was great. Grandkids over Sunday and all day Sunday and Monday. But so much news going on, so much stuff going on in Iran, England, all over the darn world. And I'm just glad the World Cup was a massive success.
Massive success. We'll talk about that a little bit too tonight. Let's go ahead and get right into the first story, Craig, because we have a lot to talk about. On Friday night, July 17th, Iranian ballistic missiles and drones struck Mufaka Salti Air Base in Jordan. 2 United States service members were killed in action. It was quite a scene. There was video from it. Today, the Department of Defense formally identified them. First Lieutenant Tyler James Feehan was 25 years old from Ewa Beach, Hawaii, a working community on the southwestern shore of Oahu with deep military ties. Private Isabella Gonzales was 19 years old from Carrollton, Texas, a suburb of Dallas where she was born and raised. 19 years old. Both were killed defending their base against an Iranian missile and drone attack. 4 others were medically evacuated to hospitals in Jordan and have since been discharged. One service member initially listed as missing was identified through unidentified remains recovered at the base. A 3rd service member was killed over the weekend during the controlled detonation of an Iranian drone in the Kurdistan region of Iraq, bringing the total number of U.S. military personnel killed in the conflict now to 17. President Trump said the retaliatory strikes were carried out in honor of the dead and told reporters after returning from the FIFA World Cup final Sunday that the U.S. had hit Iran very, very hard. CENTCOM's assessment was explicit. Strikes were designed to further degrade Iran's ability to threaten commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. Same thing we've heard for a week now.
Right.
And swiftly punish IRGC forces who launched attacks against American service members in Jordan. These are the first Americans killed by direct Iranian fire since March, when 6 Army Reserve soldiers died at Shuaba port in Kuwait. 17 Americans total. Tyler Feehan and Isabella Gonzales are the newest names on that list. Craig, these 2 young people who passed away. Before we get into strategy and what the U.S. is doing, how does it sit with you that we have a couple of young people that now died? And what appeared to be a direct escalation, now trying to hit air bases where Americans are.
Yeah, well, they've been doing that for a while. They're just first time they've reached all the way to Jordan, which, I commented.
It's not next door.
It is not next door to Iran. It's not even close. Israel released a statement because remember we talked last week. Iran is conspicuously, that's not right. Conspicuously not hitting Israel because they know that this round of leadership, round 3, that Israel knows where they are. If they hit Israel, Israel take them all out again. And it might even be worse because we'll be continued bombing what we're doing. We're finally hitting railways. We're hitting bridges. We haven't hit their infrastructure or the desalinization plants like they did in, I think, Kuwait. They hit those. That directly affects the citizens of Kuwait. And they're on rolling blackouts and, conserving water in that desert area. So Iran's really stepping it up. But like last week, I cannot figure out why the other Arab countries are not directly attacking because they've all got our equipment.
That's correct.
F-16s, F-22s. I don't know why and especially Saudi Arabia, I do not know why they are not attacking Iran with us and with Israel.
Well, it sounds like the UAE and Kuwait are at least in
close.
They're battle ready at this point. I will say over the weekend, before we get into a little bit more about this particular attack and what we're doing in Iran, that I read over the weekend, and I think I sent it to you, that the Iranian Republican Guard said they were considering a ground invasion into Kuwait.
Yeah.
What?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Number one, you can't get through it because you'd have to go through Iraq, and you don't have a navy. So what are you even talking about?
If they try to come across on those boats,
those John boats that they have,
we'll sink them. And if they try to come through Iraq, because remember, Trump met with the new Iraq prime minister. We might fund their new oil pipeline or help them fund and get repaid from their oil profits pipeline to the Mediterranean. Same thing with Saudi Arabia, same thing with several other countries. So we're going to, in 5 years,
10-year project, 5 to 10-year project that is going to change the entire makeup of the region,
change the energy structure of the world. And Iran is going to be so ostracized from the rest of the world, and we will have economically destroyed them. That if we got to arm the citizens, but it's going to be terrible for what's going on. We've hit them like 9 days in a row. I don't think Trump's going to stop because they've
just started. I just got a notification that night 10 has just started.
Yeah, and Pickaxe Mountain is now a target on a lot of the news today. And Pickaxe Mountain's at Granite Mountain where they are rebuilding their nuclear infrastructure. But it's time to hit their electric plants and every bridge in that country. It's just time to take them everyone out.
Well, I think the other aspect of this is that you talk about whether it's time to move on or not. We now have service members dying. We have more that are going to be under attack probably tonight. There's questions about how many people are dying on the ground in Iran and in these other countries. Iran says more than 3,000 people have died, including what they claim was a girls' school that was hit with 168 that were killed in a strike. A claim that the U.S. has not confirmed, and they haven't addressed it at all. President Trump was at the FIFA World Cup final at MetLife Stadium, which we'll talk about in a little bit, on Sunday evening alongside Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. He returned to Washington and announced more strikes, 9 nights. The Strait of Hormuz remains well below normal commercial traffic. The oil market reflects the risk premium. The diplomatic track through Oman, Qatar, toward a second Switzerland round has not produced a de-escalation framework. And in fact, yesterday, one of the words was de-escalation is off the table.
Correct.
And that Trump is now ramping up intentionally with the idea that he's now going to hit some infrastructure things. He's hit all the bridges, these things.
If we hit Carg Island.
They hit Carg Island.
The infrastructure, not the stuff surrounding their port, but the actual part where they funnel 97% of their oil, they're done then.
Yeah, and they essentially evaporated the IRGC headquarters in Tehran yesterday morning.
That was nice.
U.S. time. One missile, that thing was gone.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody was in that. I don't know if any leadership was in it. I doubt it, but they know where they all are, and if they don't, Israel certainly does.
Israel knows for sure.
Yeah. Iran's response has been equally consistent, keep hitting U.S. military facilities across 5 Gulf countries and keep attacking commercial shipping in the Strait. The cycle continues. 17 Americans are now dead. Iran claims thousands of its own are dead. No deal, the administration's theory. Apply military and economic pressure until Iran's leadership calculates that the cost of fighting exceeds the cost of a deal. That isn't going to happen because you're dealing with psychopaths over there.
Right. There's no negotiations. They've proven it again and again.
Yeah, and I think what President Trump said on Saturday night going into Sunday was that he wanted the sanctions that they were talking about putting on Russia. Now they want to put those on Iran as well as part of the homage to Lindsey Graham and things of that nature. But essentially, put in a complete embargo against Iran, and any countries that deal with Iran would have the same embargo.
Remember we talked about the siege of Iran?
Yeah.
You can add India and Russia because they're the ones that have been buying their. China's been getting a little bit, but India and Russia have been buying their oil mostly. So they can't do that now because we took the bridge out, I think Wednesday or Thursday last week.
Yeah, that was big.
We took out their railway system to the Caspian Sea, so they can't get oil to Russia that way. So we've really hurt them along their oil sales, which will stop them from buying unless China and Russia and North Korea give them stuff.
Right.
Then they're pretty much going to be locked down. They're going to run out of food. They're suffering through a 7-year drought. They're running out of water. They're running out of power. I don't know. And these IRGC guys, they don't give a crap about the 92 million citizens of Iran.
No, not at all.
They just care about their ideology. And there was a press break this weekend that they hung 12 teenagers, and the one they showed online was he had harbored protesters on the initial protest when IRGC killed 30,000 civilians. 30 to 40,000 civilians, that they hung this 18-year-old guy because he allowed a couple of the protesters to come into his house. Now, how brutal is that?
Yeah.
How could anybody support anything going on with Iran's leadership?
And that's the thing. I don't think the general public supports them at all. They support themselves, and the way that their government is set up, it protects itself by protecting itself in different layers of bureaucracy that they have created, so that you can't overthrow the government. It would take so many different layers of having to remove people, and they know that. And that was one of the reasons it was created the way that it was.
Yeah, and the 3,000 citizens they said that we have killed, I don't believe that for a second. No. With our laser-guided bombs, our precision, the information that Israel and our satellites pick up, we know exactly who's where.
Yep.
And there's no way in the world. And if anybody believed it, the whole world would just be tore up, said big bad America's taking out Iranian citizens.
They do that because they know that Trump-hating, conservative-hating Americans will pounce on that and use it to try to fuel division in the country. There's no proof of these claims.
Right. Yeah. Well, remember I said since World War II, we have been fighting via headlines.
Yep.
So the other side can put all the propaganda out we want. Our news media, especially CNN, since they're embedded in Iran, they carry the message back to America. Half the country gets all tore up about it.
That's exactly what they do.
But there's no proof. Where's the dead bodies?
Yeah.
If there's 3,000 dead people, they'd be laying all over the place.
Well, this morning, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I think their talking points that they've made just go to show that they're just in this for their own survival of power. That's it. They don't care about the people. They genuinely don't care about the people, which is really sad coming from a proud group of people that come from Iran and the Persia area historically.
Well, remember, in the 70s and previous to that, is one of the richest countries on the planet.
It was, and there's historical reasons why it was set up to potentially fail because of imperialism and colonialism. But when theocratic leaders got into office there, made it so much worse. And the hardliners
define theocratic for people.
When a government is controlled by a religion, and so and that's exactly what they are.
Yeah.
So, well, from the Strait of Hormuz to London, while all of that was unfolding, America's closest ally was installing a new prime minister for the 7th time in 10 years.
That's amazing.
Imagine if we did that in America.
Oh God, this country would be doomed.
Can you imagine?
It's unbelievable.
This morning, Andy Burnham traveled to Buckingham Palace, the King of the North, and was formally appointed Prime Minister of the United Kingdom by King Charles III. He arrived at 10 Downing Street, flanked by his wife of more than 25 years, Marie France van Heel, a Dutch-born woman he met while they were both studying at the University of Cambridge in 1989, where they bonded over a shared love of the Manchester rock band The Smiths. There you go. That detail, Cambridge-educated, northern working-class identity, Smith fans at an elite university, tells you something about and tells you some things important about who Andy Burnham is. He's 56 years old. He is known in British political culture as the King of the North, as we called him earlier. He is the 7th person to hold the office of Prime Minister in just over 10 years. The latest in what the British press has described as a revolving door of leaders trying to halt a decade of political turbulence and economic stagnation. His predecessor, Keir Starmer, resigned as Labour leader on June 22nd after what was widely described as a series of election defeats, U-turns, and scandals that left him deeply unpopular. Under Britain's parliamentary system, the ruling party can replace its leader and therefore the prime minister without calling a general election. Burnham assumed the Labour leadership formally on Friday, became prime minister today. The next UK general election is not expected for another 3 years. His path, although it's
2029.
very weird there. It's scheduled for 3 years from now. It could be next week or it could be after the 3 years.
They could postpone it.
They could postpone it.
Yeah.
Or they could call a snap election and in 60 days have a completely different set of parliament. Now, they won't do that because they're going to lose power.
Then because they know they're out.
Yeah, they're definitely out. And it may take 3 more years. The next UK general election, like we said, is in another 3 years. His path back to national politics was unconventional. After serving as a member of parliament for 16 years, holding cabinet roles as health secretary and culture secretary, I love that title, under Tony Blair. Who would be the culture secretary of the United States? Would that be like John Bon Jovi? Like who would be the culture?
Well, what's the dude? It'd be some rapper. What's the one that lives in New York with Beyonce's husband?
Oh, Jay-Z. Jay-Z. Very good. Very good. Him. I like that. That's good.
And I don't know music.
I know. That's impressive. That is impressive. You pulled that one out. Yeah. He left Westminster to become mayor of Greater Manchester, where he became one of the most popular politicians in Britain by championing regional investment and what he calls Manchesterism. He won a by-election in Makerfield last month, specifically to return to Parliament. Essentially, picked out an area, cherry-picked it, saying, "I'll run in this one," which you're allowed to do. And if you own land, you don't have to live there. You just have to own land, and you can come in and essentially buy a parliament seat if there's somebody else there.
That's true.
And after he did that, he returned to Parliament and stand for the Labour leadership. He ran for Labour leader twice before in 2010 and 2015, lost both times very badly. The third time was the one that counted, although it was essentially handed to him. He was basically told, "You're going to be this."
Yeah, it was planned.
We need you to run for this position so that we can immediately hand this to you. Craig, the King of the North, 7th Prime Minister in just over a decade, former mayor of Greater Manchester, walks into 10 Downing Street today as America's closest ally, enters into a new political chapter. You've been following this a lot more than I have, and I feel like I've covered it a lot, or at least been trying to keep up with it. Who is Andy Burnham, and why should Americans be paying attention to who leads the UK right now on a day when we're covering the Iran war and Ukraine and everything else on the board?
Well, you just use what he self-described himself as, a business-friendly socialist. Now, all of a sudden, all of these socialists, they've all got these different factions. I'm business friendly. I'm a capitalist socialist, that kind of stuff. I'm a Democrat Socialist of America. They've all got different terms, but their ultimate goal is to bring socialism to whatever country they're in. And this guy wants to create a whole entire new economic system. That tells you right there that he wants to bring socialism to England.
Well,
and then that'll be the end of the country. That'll be
I
the
think
end
the
of
problem.
Great Britain.
Yeah, I think what people see him saying, he's saying the right things, but he's not saying what he means by it. So he's saying, I'm going to bring in a new economic mentality to this country. I'm going to ramp up the economy by doing a bunch of things.
Yeah.
But he doesn't say that. Well, the reason I'm essentially a democratic, what we call in America, a democratic socialist, but essentially I'm going to give more social welfare advantages to all
more
of the
free
people.
stuff.
More free stuff.
Yeah.
Which gets you elected, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's like AOC going to Georgia this weekend and putting on a massive Hillary
Clinton did you hear that?
Southern drawl.
That Southern drawl she had?
He sounded more like a hick than me.
Man, that code switching that they do, we would get crucified if we
she got smoked over it. But that's what this guy's doing.
She is.
When you said that, he's saying the right thing, that's just typical political speak. These folks are telling people what they want to hear, but in the end, they're going to regret the hell out of it.
Well, I think they will as well, and I think it's what will end up. They're essentially trying to put Band-Aids on a major shipwreck at this point. I mean, they're
ships. England, Great Britain no longer controls the seas.
They don't. I was
Both
using
aircraft carriers
as a euphemism.
Euphemism. They are nowhere near the country they were even 75 years ago.
Oh no, not even
on the radar.
No, I mean Margaret Thatcher is rolling over in her grave. I mean, these policies are destroying the British government, and we're watching it in real time. And their only thing that they know to do is just replace the person that's at 10 Downing Street instead of actually fixing the policies.
Remember all the videos we saw from English soccer fans in America? How they said again and again how the media in Great Britain portrays America is the exact opposite of what they see with their own eyeballs as they travel all the continental, all 48 lower states. They said there's a completely different thing. So if we ever pulled out of England, which we'll never do because it's the motherland, even, for no reason, we'll never abandon England. But if we did, they'd be taken over by Muslims. They would be taken over by socialists, and the country would fall apart.
It's interesting because
third world country with a king.
It's interesting because Parliament over the last 40 years has had a better popularity number than, say, the monarchy. But now, over the last few weeks, with Prince William and what he is doing with the country, and it seems like the monarchy actually is having more
a resurgence
and a positive image. Maybe that's because they got rid of certain people and other things. But I feel like there's this idea that when Prince William becomes king, he is going to be more involved and may steer the country a little more to the business friendly side of what we would call capitalism over here.
Go back to the old England. Go back to what they were, because King Charles' days are numbered. The monarchy has no power at all, other than, I read Andy Burnham goes to the king.
He has to ask him to form a government.
Resigns. Then Andy Burnham goes, and it's called the kiss the ring ceremony that they've been doing for hundreds of years.
Yep.
But they no longer kiss the ring because the royal family has zero political power. Maybe Prince William is beloved.
He is
in the
very
country.
much so.
When Prince Charles steps down, what's his wife's name?
Camilla. Are you talking about
Prince William?
Kate, Princess Catherine?
Yeah, they are a perfect pair to lead England and maybe bring back the pride that England has, because it's not there now.
It isn't, and it's
sorry for Great Britain.
It's sad to see, really. We've got good deeds in here. He's just an old time rock and roll guy. That's a vote for Bob Seger to be the Minister of Culture. Yeah, the Minister of Culture. Bob Seger. All right, there you go. So,
but yeah, it's a sad day. But we knew it was coming. We knew this guy was.
This guy was handpicked, very much like Mark Carney was chosen. And I mean, this is the most undemocratic thing you can ever imagine. England fought essentially, until they received the Magna Carta in the 1200s to be able to have a parliament that they chose their leadership, and they didn't get to choose their leader here. This guy won just an off election that he cherry picked so that he could get into parliament so that they could hand this to him. The exact same thing that Justin Trudeau did with Mark Carney. And there are great people from the great country of Canada who fought for the right to be able to choose their leadership, and neither one of these great countries have been able to choose their leaders.
Yeah, it's selection, not election, and I don't know, and that's perfect socialism, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what's happened with the people of England and people of Canada not getting to vote. But I'll tell you this: if Alberta votes to secede from Canada, Canada's doomed.
There'll be some quick adjustments to their parliamentary procedure.
Ontario has said, we'll build your pipeline now, Alberta, to bring it to the east part of Canada.
Right.
And they said, too late, buddy. We've tried for 50 years and
make it go. We'll just take it all the way to Texas.
I hope like heck. I followed 2 or 3 pages on Alberta leaving, and I hope like heck.
Is it October or November that they're going to have
sometime this year? Yeah, it's one of those 2 months. It's coming up so close, and it keeps building higher and higher as they do.
It's crazy the numbers that people are waiting outside in the cold right now.
Yeah,
to actually get their
I
names
can't wait to see the vote.
The United Kingdom is the United States' most important bilateral ally militarily through intelligence sharing under the Five Eyes partnership and diplomatically across every major conflict. If they share, which there has been some things recently that have come out that they're not sharing.
That's correct.
It's absolutely true. They're not. When the UK gets a new prime minister, it matters for American foreign policy. Right now, the stakes of that are unusually high. Britain has been one of the most active Western supporters of Ukraine, committing military aid, sanctions, pressure, and diplomatic coordination throughout the war. What Burnham does with that commitment and how quickly he establishes a working relationship with President Trump will shape the Western coalition posture on Ukraine and Russia in the months ahead. On Iran, the UK has not been directly involved in the military campaign. In fact, they've been very standoffish, and Burnham is not one that's going to want to get involved in this war at all. I don't foresee that happening. Do you see it differently?
No. And one thing before I forget about it for the third time, one thing that Burnham did tell President Trump that Keir Starmer wouldn't do is he's going to open up the North Sea. Where
the gas fields.
Norway is pumping oil out of that right now.
Yeah.
And getting millions and millions of dollars, but it's right off of Great Britain's doorstep. I mean, literally.
Yeah.
Right off their doorstep, and Keir Starmer stopped it. The greenies over there stopped it. The environmentalists stopped it. While the country falls apart, their military falls apart. They can't maintain their military because they don't have no money to fix their ships and their jets.
Yeah. Well, Trump posted on Truth Social that these actions would take the UK from a poverty-stricken disaster to one of the richest countries anywhere in the world.
Just like I just said.
Yep. Yeah. Burnham has not formally committed to those plans, which would represent a departure from his party's previous manifesto, but he has insinuated that he would consider that. But
when did Trump post that?
Earlier today.
Okay.
Yeah, this afternoon. Actually, this morning. One early domestic move, Burnham scrapped the previous government's troubled digital ID scheme. He's pitching Manchesterism, as we talked about, which means regional investment, economic de-evolution, a focus on working class conditions as his national governing philosophy. America's closest ally has a new voice. Whether that voice integrates smoothly into the current Western alliance posture or introduces a new political pressure on the central geopolitical questions of the months ahead will have to be seen. Craig, Trump welcomed him over the North Sea drilling, as you said. Zelensky congratulated him and said the UK-Ukraine relationship is stronger than ever. That's basically like sucking up when he needed to.
He needs their military.
Yeah. And Burnham inherits a country beset by low wages and political turbulence, when people think of America having political unrest, they don't have any idea what it's like compared to what's going on in England and Ireland right now. And the interesting thing about that is that in the United States, we're fighting with each other. In England and Ireland, it is almost exclusively the native folks from the United Kingdom who are fighting against the government. The immigrants that have come over, they're all for the government. They're happy that the government let them in and stuff.
Because the government's giving them free. It's Venezuela all over again.
Yeah.
Venezuela is the fourth richest country on the planet. Then they embraced not Chavez. What was it? Hugo Chavez. Yeah,
Hugo Chavez.
He brings socialism in. He gives the poor all kinds of free stuff. They keep electing him and keep electing him. Then he nationalizes the oil infrastructure, all the American oil infrastructure that made Venezuela the fourth richest country on the planet. And once he did that,
destroyed it.
Yeah, he destroyed their economy. They had no technology how to repair the oil wells once they went down, and we wouldn't sell them the equipment to maintain their stuff. So down the tubes they went. England's following the same path.
Yeah, and this Manchesterism sounds great. We do that even here in Kentucky. We have regional, economic development groups who work together, the Bluegrass region, Central Kentucky, things like that. That is a great concept, especially in smaller countries. And yes, England is a small country compared to what the United States is geographically from an economic standpoint.
We're big as Europe. We're big as the whole
correct.
Europe.
Correct. But what matters most.
Did you pop this up?
Yes. Yeah.
That's 100% correct. But we are getting one in Brownsville, Texas. It's going to cost $300 billion to build, but supposedly going to take 4 years. And that will allow us to refine our own oil, American oil, instead of mostly what we refine now is Canadian and Mexican oil.
By the middle of the first Vance administration, there will be a new refinery on.
Yeah, that's a good question.
What matters most for America, I think you will agree with this. This is just me throwing this out there, is whether Burnham maintains UK's commitment on NATO and the importance of that. I think that's the most important thing right now that they could do, because if they don't, then America is going to have our biggest ally for the last 150 years. We're going to have to go at them just like we went at Spain and some of these other countries.
It could be that after the Iran war is over, and we've seen that NATO countries have offered us extremely limited, like 1% or less help in fighting Iran, our focus is already shifting to Cuba. It tells me that the Iran war is about over. And then we go to just taking care of our hemisphere again and say, the hell with Europe.
The Don Road.
Let those countries form their own militaries and quit depending on us doing everything for them. And then we just take care of the Eastern Hemisphere. We help Central America and we help South America to keep China out of their business so they don't attack us from the South.
Yeah.
A lot of strategy going on, a lot of world strategy going on.
There is, and you're throwing somebody in the middle of an economic crisis in England and a social crisis along with the political crisis. Maybe he'll turn it around. Maybe he'll do some good things.
Well, will he allow free speech? Or will he allow them to fly their own national flag?
The audacity.
Remember
the audacity.
Remember the English people coming over and saying, we're in Walmart, we're in Costco, we're in Dunkin' Donuts, and there's American flags everywhere. There's American flags on people's homes. They're lining streets. You should
Josh
see
from England. Did you follow Josh from England?
You should see Georgetown. When we delivered our pizzas to Toyota, I videoed downtown Georgetown. I'll post it later, but man, they've got a flag on every light pole.
Downtown Georgetown is gorgeous.
Yeah, it was amazing. Same flyers, American flags on every pole. You don't see that crap here in Frankfort.
No, you absolutely don't.
When you can't fly your own flag and when flying
your own flag is considered racist.
Right. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
You're offending the North Africans that invaded the country
Right.
by flying your country's flag. You got it in your background. I've got one in front of me.
Yep.
I'm going to have a flagpole installed if I can figure out how the heck to do it. And I've already got the spot picked out. It's I don't understand them. They don't have freedom of speech. It's not in their constitution or whatever.
There's people going to prison for things they post on Facebook,
on social media. Remember when they got the guy, the English fella that came to Florida, shot a gun at a shooting range, and they arrested him at Heathrow Airport when he came back to London.
It's a danger to the people
because he took a picture of him with a weapon, with a rifle, and posted it on his Facebook page.
I'm guessing that's Georgetown. If it is, we love Georgetown.
If you follow my page, follow my Facebook page, I'll probably put that video up tonight. But downtown Georgetown is just gorgeous.
Yeah, especially this time of year. Well, from London to the coast of Maine, where this weekend's county delegate meetings produced a result that nobody really had to wait until Saturday's convention to see. And this is kind of interesting, to be honest with you.
One of the two people you and I said it would be.
We said it was going to be one of these two people. I'm disappointed. I wanted there to genuinely be.
You want that socialist girl?
I just wanted some nonsense. I wanted some nonsense at their convention. It doesn't sound like we're going to get that. Good on them for figuring that out. We'll get right into the story.
Because I couldn't find nothing. I was looking for it.
The county delegate meetings held across Maine's 16 counties on Saturday and Sunday produced a decisive result. Troy Jackson, former Maine Senate president, logger from Aroostook County, I'm probably mispronouncing that, Sanders-backed progressive, won approximately and if Bernie Sanders supported him, you can bet your bottom dollar there's nothing wrong with this guy at all.
He's a Bernie Sanders supporter.
That's right. He won approximately 481 of the 500 convention delegate seats available this weekend, according to his campaign. In Cumberland County, home to Portland and 149 delegate slots, the top 149 vote getters all appeared on Jackson's delegate slate. Every single one. It's a little,
what's that tell you?
A little interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
By Sunday morning, Shinna Bellows had suspended her campaign and endorsed Jackson. By Sunday evening, Rav Shah had followed. Jordan Wood, who is the other person that you and I talked about, and Dan Cleven also dropped out before the day ended. Every major opponent gone in 24 hours. The convention is this Saturday. We're not going to have the banger and banger like you and I had hoped. Jackson holds roughly 61% of the delegates as of right now. There's another, I think, 100 that are going to be coming out in the next couple of days. He will win those now.
They got 601 total, correct?
Yeah, and he has 400 of the so far. His nomination is a foregone conclusion at this point. The race is now Troy Jackson versus Susan Collins in November. Bellows summed it up plainly, quote, "Maine has spoken, and we are going to do everything we can to make sure that Troy Jackson beats Susan Collins in November." Pause. No.
You're not reading the teleprompter like Joe Biden, right? When you said
Maine chose who their primary candidate was, and the Democrat Party took your choice away from you. And now they have chosen someone to run to represent you.
Yeah. Plantner got 72 or 77%. I think 72% of the vote.
Yeah. 71.8% of the vote.
Okay. Excuse me. I was off 2/10.
We'll round it up here.
And they took that away from him. The National
took it away from the people.
Took it away from the power of the people. They took it away from them, and they selected this Troy Jackson, who you and I said was going to be him or that Shaw, far left progressive socialist person.
Narav Shah.
Yeah, it was going to be one of those two. And so they sided with somebody that's not as controversial. But my notes, I've got Jackson's policy positions are in line with Sanders and progressives. He supports Medicare for all and the tax on billionaires, not millionaires, billionaires like Bernie.
They changed that because Bernie's a millionaire.
Yeah, no longer say Bernie doesn't say millionaires and billionaires no more. He called for ICE to be abolished, which is a far left socialist mantra. And he believes Israel committed genocide in Gaza, even though Hamas attacked and killed 1,200 Israeli citizens.
I'm
put babies in microwaves, put children in ovens.
I'm sure that October 7th has nothing.
Right.
There's no genocide.
And No more U.S. dollars should be sent to support Israel's military. Israel has probably got the best spy network on the planet.
Yep.
And they want to disassociate from Israel, which if England is our number one, Israel's 1A.
Well, and let me put it to you in plain facts.
Oh,
Jackson,
wait, hold on.
Okay,
This is the best part of it all. Remember when I said you had the business-friendly socialist in England's
right? Yeah,
Andy Burnham?
right.
This guy described himself as a pickup truck progressive.
Oh, this is the Manly Men guy. Now we're doing Manly Men.
Leitner was too much of a man.
Right.
A man's man.
This is like a Tim Waltz Manly Man.
So this guy. So now people are going to be scouring the internet, see if they see pictures of him on the beach and see what kind of tattoos he's got.
Right. Well, the interesting thing about Jackson is that everyone says, well, you know, he used to be the Senate president. What's he been doing? He actually ran for the gubernatorial nomination just recently and came in third place in the Democratic primary. And now this is their choice against Susan Collins.
Yeah, it's
the organizational execution was remarkable here, and how quickly things changed. The unity that followed was nearly as remarkable, and the challenge ahead, beating Senator Collins, who simply all she does is win, as DJ Khaled would say.
And CNN and MSNBC said over the weekend she always overperforms the polling. So
always.
So this guy Jackson's got to be. They said Jackson and Shaw because it wasn't finalized. They've got to poll 7 to 9% above her and it be close. If they're 3% ahead of her, something like that, they said Collins will probably win.
Well, I think if they get into a debate, I've heard this guy talk. I think there's a reason that he came in third place in the gubernatorial race, and now he's the Democrat hope in the Senate. Listen, I said this a month ago when the Plattner stuff started to come out. The Senate is going to stay Republican at this point. It's probably going to be 53-47 now with what's happening there.
Yes,
and probably Rogers will probably beat Al Said in Michigan, but I know we joke about Maine a lot. We talk a lot about Maine, but the reason we focus on Maine is because Maine is a great example of what the Democrat Socialists of America are doing in the Democrat Party. You and I we know very great people who are Democrats, and we tell them to their face that the Democrat Socialists of America are hijacking their party.
Yep, from the
inside.
Yep, exactly. They're doing it, and they're doing it publicly. They're so bold-faced about it now, but
they're saying it out loud in their
and it's working because they've taken over the most important city in the country. They've taken over New York City. That Bernie Sanders has been in office for 100 years. He supported Mondami. AOC's thinking about running for president. The heck with taking on Schumer, which she would beat Schumer. I have no doubt.
She would beat Schumer.
She would beat Chuck Schumer. Yep. But, she's going to be throwing up her different accents when she goes around running for office or helping other candidates win.
If we can get AOC to say that she's going to bring on Jasmine Crockett as like her vice presidential candidate. I mean, can you imagine?
That would be
fun.
That'd be so much something fun. Else. Yeah, it would be something else. But it's going to be fun watching this. Just like we'll talk. Do we got Kentucky on here today?
We don't have much from Kentucky.
Rocky officially.
We have Rocky on there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So this is Maine is interesting. Michigan is interesting. California is somewhat interesting right now.
Yeah.
And
but I think at the end of the day, this is going to be a master class in how to take away the vote from the people in Maine, and it's just going to benefit Susan Collins and the Republicans.
I'll run through it again. 2008, President Obama or Senator Obama makes what's called a great. Let's see, Trump announces new tariffs on certain Canadian goods.
Canada, 20% increase.
Yeah, they selected Obama, but because he made a great speech in the 2004 presidential DNC thing when they all get together. So they selected him. Then they selected Hillary to take on Trump, won.
And
Then Bernie
pushed out Bernie.
Pushed out Bernie, and then Bernie's winning again, walking through the first 3 states, and they anoint Joe Biden in South Carolina, and that was the end of Bernie.
That was it.
He stays with the Democrat Party. They screwed him royally, and now he knows.
Well, and then Biden, and then Biden's running. They didn't like the way it was looking. They took him out.
So they killed Biden. They don't kill Biden. They blamed that speech. They blamed the debate, but that wasn't it. So they hand select Kamala Harris. She's the first one to drop out in the Democrat primary without getting a vote.
Didn't gain a vote. Didn't get one delegate.
Then they select her. She got 0 votes to run for president of the United States, and now they're taking it down to the state level.
Yeah,
they got rid of Plattner, and that might be that might be the Democrat strategy. Whoever the primary winner is, if they fail to do good, they'll remove them from the ballot and hand select who they want.
Well, Democrat socialists don't care about that. They're Democrat socialists. They don't care about the Democrat part of it. Right. They care about the socialist part of it.
But I think that could be a new party strategy if the primary winner is not doing well or they find a bad background. They remove that person. Because you might see some Democrat states change the way their campaigns run, which more states will be allowed to do that. Then they hand select who they want, and boys, that's getting into communism then.
Well, that's the ultimate. That's the end goal in all this. Well, something happened yesterday that deserves its moment, even though you're not a huge soccer guy, because it was historic for American sports.
I'm a huge American. This was great for America.
Yeah, and for one man's final chapter on the biggest stage in the game. On Sunday evening, the 2026 FIFA World Cup final was played at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, on American soil in a tournament the United States, Canada, and Mexico jointly hosted. Spain defeated Argentina 1-0 in extra time, and it was a glorious goal. The decisive goal was scored by a substitute, Ferran Torres, in the 106th minute. Extra time. Yeah, the second time Spain has won the World Cup on an extra time goal. Argentina's Enzo Fernandez was red carded late in regulation, forcing his team to play down a man. Argentina registered exactly 0 shots in 90 minutes of regulation, despite Lionel Messi being on the pitch for his final World Cup. Emiliano Martinez made 12 saves, the most ever by a goalkeeper in a World Cup final for Argentina.
Spain, and he only allowed 1 goal the entire World Cup.
Spain wins its second World Cup. Messi's final World Cup ends in defeat. President Trump attended the final alongside Saudi Prince Mohammed bin Salman. He returned to Washington, and before the night was out, he had announced another wave of strikes in Iran. The ninth consecutive night, as we said. The World Cup hosting was a genuine success for the United States. In fact, early reports are saying that it was an $11 billion income or
that's all
profit.
I thought it would be more than that.
Well, that's just the television and things that came through. The local economies were in the tens of billions of dollars, including some of the areas in California that had multiple games as well. The match was a genuine spectacle, and the same man who sat in the stands to watch it announced more strikes in Iran just a few minutes later. Those two images lived within hours of each other on the same Sunday evening. Both things are true. The hosting was a success. The war continues, unfortunately. However, Craig, I know you're not a big
I got a cool
guy.
stat for you though.
But you loved watching the Europeans and others coming to this country to enjoy everything. And it was big for the economy at this point. We won't know for months, but it was big for the economy.
We got $1 trillion of free media. We completely opened up the eyes of millions of foreigners, and they're going to go back to their home country and tell millions more of their friends. And I think, like you said, it's going to bring even more tourists to the United States to see our great country, described by these soccer fans, these World Cup soccer fans. They interacted great with the country. I never saw anything negative. Norway did the rowing thing. They
really endeared themselves to the East Coast.
They adopted ranch dressing. They love John Denver's what's the name of that song?
Country
West
Roads.
Virginia. You know, it's got West Virginia in it.
Yeah, Country Roads.
Country Roads. They love that song. Yeah. You know, they got foreigners singing that song. They can't speak American. You know, so I don't say English.
Speak American.
They speak American. They cannot speak American, but they know the John Denver song and sing it.
They do. Yeah.
A whole stadium, 100,000 people. I mean, it gave you goosebumps watching all that stuff, watching all the videos.
The ranch makers of America should open up entire lines of trade in Europe right now.
Kraft ranch dressing was not in Europe.
That they don't know. I mean, Hidden Valley, Kraft. I mean,
well, Hidden Valley is the best.
Yeah, but these guys, and ladies, they would taste ranch dressing, and it would change their life. Like you could see, it was a Holy Spirit moment for some of these folks when they had ranch.
Whoever thought you dumped chicken into ranch dressing? You know, it was.
They were trying everything with ranch dressing.
Here's the soccer stat of how good Spain is going to be and probably dominate the next 2 or 3 World Cups. One, they're young. They're mostly under 30.
Yep.
And they pass the ball better than any country. In this Argentina-Spain World Cup final, they call them it's not touches, something.
Possessions.
No, it's where they pass the ball back and forth. Yeah. And they come up with the stat on ESPN this morning that Argentina only passed the ball 6 times once during the entire game. Spain did it 32 times.
Jeez.
And kept Argentina running all over the pitch, not the field.
There you go.
The pitch.
You're picking it up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know something about soccer. I led on a lot of it.
And in 4 years, you're going to be ready.
It's still the most boring game in the world. When you go, you play 90 minutes, you get this fictitious extra time. And
injury time.
Sometimes whatever. And sometimes, why don't they just institute a timeout and leave it at 90 minutes? But then sometimes you have a shootout because even in extra time, it's still 0-0.
Yeah.
Then they have a shootout.
Yeah.
So hell, just have the shootout at the beginning of the game and save everybody a lot of time.
It's anticlimactic.
I know, but it would be exciting.
It would be exciting. I'll tell you that much. I don't think they're going to change the rules for us.
It was great. You know,
it was.
Who recruited? He doesn't get credit. Who recruited the World Cup to
Donald
the
Trump
in
his first term.
This is the best thing tourism wide.
This is the best thing. Now you wait until the Olympics, which is only a 2-week
2028.
Yeah. Only a 20-day event.
Yeah, but this is the best thing to happen to America in 75 or 80, 100 years.
At least from a marketing standpoint.
Right. That's what I'm talking about, from marketing. Where all these visitors, all these foreign visitors going back to their home country, saying the United States is nothing like what our media portrays them as.
Yeah. It is the most financially successful World Cup in history. By far. They don't even have the final numbers, and they know it's the most financially successful.
I mean, it was just so exciting watching the fans interact and hearing the soccer fans from other countries say Americans are so nice. They helped them in so many different ways. They just came up and talked to them, said, in our country, people don't just walk up to you and say hello. Or
they don't do that in France. They don't do that in France.
Yeah, I said, or how you doing? He said it took us a bit to get used to it.
Yeah.
And then when, they had a week between the games and they would go rent a car and drive around the country, they were just amazed at our small towns and how friendly everybody was. And fortunately, there were no terrorists or any terrorism incidents or nothing. It was
good on the
World Cup.
Good on the security levels that they had. The president was able to be at MetLife Stadium. I mean, that was phenomenal. But I'll also say, did you see the guy that went to Texas Roadhouse and they brought him the bread as soon as he sat down and he said, "We haven't ordered the bread yet." They're like, it's free. And he goes, "This is the greatest thing ever." And it's good bread. And it has like the cinnamon butter. He couldn't get over it to save his life. That was the free stuff.
how many videos did you see with free refills?
Oh, they couldn't get ice. Our drinks are cold the whole time. What?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of them. It's one great big dude. He had arms big as my legs.
Yeah,
and his wife said, if we ever get the opportunity to move to the United States, we're going to move to the United States because this is the greatest country on earth.
Come on. You want to come over to assimilate with the country
Legally.
and be a part of it? Do it. Yeah, do it the right way. That's the other thing that people should realize is that if everybody else comes into your home and says, man, you've got a beautiful home and you've got great people who live in your home, that's a compliment. And we should feel incredibly blessed that we live in the greatest country in the world.
Yeah, and Americans stepped up and welcomed all these foreigners.
Yeah.
I mean, the videos were great. I didn't see any bad videos. I didn't see any foreigner soccer fans say anything bad about America, but maybe they just weren't in the algorithm or something.
Maybe. We weren't on the dark part of.
Those people are so cool.
Yeah.
All the various videos we watched, and even when they went out on boat rides and stuff, they couldn't believe how fast they could go. I mean, there's so many because they saw everything in the country.
They just couldn't believe how big everything was.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Well, from MetLife to Capitol Hill, we are going to be talking about a filing window opening tomorrow that will determine who carries Lindsey Graham's legacy for the next 6 years. Tomorrow, July 21st, the filing window opens for the South Carolina Republican special primary that will determine who serves Lindsey Graham's Senate seat for the next 6 years. The window closes July 28th. Special primary is August 11th. The winner faces Democrat Annie Andrews in November in a race that is a safe Republican territory. The significance here is which Republican carries Graham's mantle into 2031. Senator Darlene Graham Norton, Lindsey Graham's sister, appointed by Governor McMaster and sworn in as South Carolina's first female senator, serves through January 3rd. Several names are in motion. Tim Scott publicly said he would love to see former Fox host and retired Congressman Trey Gowdy. That is who I would love to see pursue that seat.
Nancy, money.
And he would win if he put his name in. I think it would not even be. I think other people.
There's some late breaking afternoon news. So I'm gonna see if you got it in your thing, your rundown. She is talking of running for a full 6-year term.
Yes, she is. Yeah, it's not. We'll see what happens, but she did say she's considering it.
And when she was appointed, she wasn't going to do it. She was just going to hold the seat till the election. So the fire gets in her head.
Yeah,
and
it's hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's not cool of her to do that.
Yeah, well, Nancy Mace,
Nancy
Mace, who lost the Republican gubernatorial nomination in June by a lot, came in 5th place, continues to strongly consider a run. Mark Lynch, who ran against Graham in the primary and lost, has already committed $5 million of his own money. Governor McMaster has been widely floated. He is term limited to his current position. Trump praised him extensively after Darlene's appointment, and Trump said he already has someone in mind before talking about McMaster at considerable length about the appointment. That's about as direct a hint as Trump gives. The person who wins this seat will be making decisions on Iran, Ukraine, NATO, and the Russia oil tariffs bill that Graham was carrying the week he died. Filing opens tomorrow. We're going to have to watch the names that get submitted. It's my understanding nobody has talked to Trey Gowdy to get an idea.
He's sure mentioned on TV a lot.
He's mentioned, but nobody has talked to him about what his plans are, whether he's going to do it. It's weird that Tim Scott would mention him multiple times and it not be something
He just might
serious.
be tired of the political world, but like we talked last week, the Senate is a whole different animal.
It is.
More deliberative.
It is.
Not the fiery things you see on the U.S. House hearings.
Yeah. I would say that if Trey Gowdy wants to get into it, he could probably have it. This Lynch guy who came in second to Lindsey Graham, the fact that he's willing to essentially self-fund his own campaign is going to help him because he's automatically going to have more money than other people are going to have. Although, again, if Trey Gowdy gets into it and he opens up his, pack, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of money for him. But whoever wins that primary that they have, that person is going to win the Senate seat.
So when you're saying their primary, you're saying they're not selecting somebody first?
No, we're actually having a vote.
Going to actually vote for
Republicans will vote. I say we. Republicans in South Carolina will vote for the person who will then run against
actually
a
vote
Democrat, actually vote. And the
Okay.
person with the most votes
actually
will actually win and go on.
Okay, I just want to make sure because it's been going on different so much lately.
And
I
some other
almost
parties,
forgot what a real election is like.
No, it's kind of wild, right?
Yeah.
Well, from South Carolina to Lower Manhattan, where at 8:20 this morning, a man with a cart full of fireworks, axes,
far left activist.
Yeah, and what authorities believe was gasoline set fire to one of the most significant federal buildings of the United States. Before we get into it, we have video of this.
Watch his feet, too. His feet catch on fire for just a second.
Yeah, he about lit himself up.
I couldn't believe it.
Whew.
See the flames off his shoes running away?
Oh, yeah.
What a buffoon. How he didn't get shot. If this,
he did a heck of a job lighting that concrete on fire.
They don't leave their station. The guys at the gate, they don't leave. These guys come up, but at the top of the video,
they already have guys coming.
They already have him, and they've got the dog out, and that guy suffered some injuries. I hope they bit the crap out of him.
Well, it's
what a nut job. What if that building caught on fire and hundreds of people died, burned alive because of this far left activist? Yeah, not a right winger, not a white nationalist, another far left. And this guy said this was terrorism. He said it himself.
I don't know how it could be described.
He said, "I'm a terrorist." He said it.
At 8:20 this morning, a man wheeled a cart to the entrance of 26 Federal Plaza, officially the Jacob K. Javits Federal Building and Foley Square in Lower Manhattan. Gorgeous building. He ignited a bundle of fireworks. He then poured what the Department of Homeland Security believes was gasoline on the entrance steps and set them on fire. Way to go, genius. Heavy black smoke billowed from the front of the building. Federal Protective Service officers ran up and tackled him on the sidewalk. The New York City Fire Department arrived and quickly extinguished the blaze. The FBI and New York Joint Terrorism Task Force is investigating. 2 people sustained minor injuries. A bystander was grazed by the fireworks, and a Federal Protective Service officer was hurt in the takedown. The NYPD bomb squad was called to examine the contents of the suspect's cart. In addition to fireworks and the flammable liquid, officers found 2 axes, a machete, 3 knives, and what appeared to be several airsoft rifles. Authorities tell me want to get shot without.
You don't want to get shot with a pellet gun.
Yeah. Authorities have identified the suspect as Andrew Arabaka, 43 years old, a United States Army veteran originally from Poughkeepsie, New York, with a current address in Harlem. No charges have been formally announced yet as of this taping. Though the investigation is active, FBI Director Kash Patel confirmed the arrest on X, writing, quote, "This morning, an individual deployed an incendiary device outside." It was a flame. It wasn't gasoline in a flame. What makes it sound like it was a bomb, but it wasn't. Confirmed the arrest. He went on to say an incendiary device outside of 26 Federal Plaza in New York. The individual is in custody and 2 minor injuries reported thus far, end quote. The building Arabaka targeted is not a random federal address. 26 Federal Plaza houses the FBI's New York field office, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, Federal Immigration Courts, and the Joint Terrorism Task Force itself. It has been the site of sustained immigration protests over the past year. The Department of Homeland Security has already publicly labeled Arabaka an anti-ICE rioter. NBC News sources describe him as a possible anti-ICE activist who may have emotional issues. He may have emotional issues.
The leftists are always crazy people.
Right. New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani called the incident deeply disturbing and said he was relieved no one was seriously injured.
And what else did he say? I've got his tweet on my phone, but let me say also the feds said they found Arabaka with anti-ICE stuff in his cart, that he was storing all his stuff in. But Mamdani says that he's going to work with NYPD and hand in hand with the federal government.
Right.
And do you believe that for 1 second?
No.
Not for one darn second. Oh shit! We got sound effects now.
Every joke you get one of those. So
okay, well, I mean, there's no way in the world that Mamdani, he's done forgot about it. He probably going to send that guy some money, a couple of steaks.
Probably give him a pardon and put him on his staff.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so, but it could have been a lot worse. But it's going to be interesting to see. Some sites, especially on X, are saying he's a far left activist, terrorist. But we'll see how CNN and MSNB and NBC and or MS Now and ABC, NBC, CBS how they label this dude. They'll probably label him as a nut job because
either they'll label him as a nut job, or they'll say
get away.
Or they'll either say he's a nut job, or they'll say at one point he gave $10 to a Republican candidate. So clearly, he's MAGA.
Yeah. And
because that's their.
I read one thing, but couldn't confirm nowhere else that there was a manifesto in his wagon.
We'll never see it. We'll never see it.
Yeah, but I've not been able to confirm it. But it was on a verified X account.
Well, if you want to get shot, or you want law enforcement to arrest you, and it's a federal crime, so he's going to have federal charges on him. He will go away for a long period of time. Now, if you want to do that, then act stupid and do something like this. But you're not overthrowing the government. You're not proving any point. You're not doing anything but showing your lunacy based upon whatever crazy ideals that you have, instead of being a part of the system and solution. By supporting candidates and doing all these things.
Put your lawyer head on. Put your lawyer head. He'll be charged federally, right?
He will be charged federally.
Will he be charged under SDNY and Letitia James?
Well, Letitia James is the
state, right?
She's state. Yeah. Well, so the SDNY is federal appointee. Federal. Yeah.
But they can both state charges and federal.
They can. But
so will she do state charges along with?
No, because once the feds take it, there won't be duplicitous actions. I can almost guarantee they'll let the feds handle it.
So there's not federal crime, serve your time, then come back to state and go through state court. And I thought they did that pretty regular.
If the feds take a charge, they will usually let that charge play out. You don't have a judge that's elected, that's running for an office that has to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
Federal prosecutor, federal judge.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of charges they come up with.
We'll never hear. We'll hear. We may hear it in the next week or so. Then we'll never hear what happens to him. Never. Yeah. They never follow up on it. They never tell you. Which I understand. The
Apex News and Apex Media.
We will let you
stay on top of it.
Yeah. We will close tonight, Craig, right here in the great state of Commonwealth.
I love this.
Great Commonwealth of Kentucky. Tomorrow morning, Rocky Adkins is holding his formal campaign announcement event in Lexington, Kentucky. The second event follows in Louisville on Wednesday. These are the events that make official what has been coming since July 10th. And then earlier today, he filed his FEC election finance paperwork to run for governor. It is now official. That is what's happening. Here is the brief biography. We have gone over this a couple times, but it's important that you know Adkins is 65 years old. He grew up in Sandy Hook in Elliott County, played basketball at Morehead State University. He served 33 years in the Kentucky House of Representatives, 16 of those years as House Majority Leader, and can read off everything that's happening in a bill, the name and title and everything faster than the Micro Machine man.
Yeah, he knows his stuff.
Gen Xers, you guys know what I'm talking about. He ran against Andy Beshear in the 2019 Democratic gubernatorial primary. He did lose by 6 points, but he was the right behind him there, dominating Eastern Kentucky while being crushed in Louisville and Fayette County. He joined Beshear's administration in December 2019 and spent nearly 7 years, helping secure more than $50 billion in announced private investment and more than 70,000 jobs for the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Tomorrow, he announces a run for the only Democrat-held governorship on the 2027 ballot. Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman, who announced in April, had a 3-month head start. Beshear is caught between both of them and cannot endorse either without fracturing the party at this point. The Republican field is formidable. The 2027 governor's race is now a real story. What Adkins says tomorrow morning, the message, the framing, the geographic and political coalition he signals he is trying to build will tell us a great deal about whether he is running the same 2019 race with a different outcome in mind, or whether he is running a genuinely different campaign. We will be listening to every single word. Craig, Rocky Atkins announces tomorrow he has a 6-point loss to Bashir in 2019, dominated Eastern Kentucky, lost big in Louisville and Lexington. 7 years in the administration, $50 billion in investment, very, very popular among Democrats. And honestly, even Republicans like Rocky. I mean, they don't say anything bad about him.
He's a normal dude like Governor Bashir.
He is.
He's like, reminds me of Governor Carroll a little bit. Like I told you,
very much so.
Met him 3 times, and he just friendly as can be. He's just a friendly guy. Where on the Jacqueline Coleman side, she's been announced since April, but I ain't heard nothing really on her.
Well, she's
not taking advantage of the 3-month open window to announce herself to the state.
Well, she had a 3-month lead. It seems like that was a little bit squandered. I don't think she added a bunch of people who could pick Jacqueline Coleman out of a lineup to that list. Now Rocky's going to announce tomorrow. What are the things that we need to be listening for, and what's important that Rocky Atkins says tomorrow to establish to make this a serious Democratic primary?
See if he reaches out to conservative Kentucky.
Yeah.
If he comes in with all that socialist, liberal, far left-wing stuff like Governor Bashir's being forced to do if he runs for president, so that he doesn't lose the far left liberal loudmouth base. If Rocky does that, Comer's going to win even easier.
Listen, Rocky was in the House at the time when Democrats had a supermajority, and when there were significantly more registered Democrats in the state than there were Republicans. Obviously, all of that has flipped in the last 20 years.
And the registration thing didn't flip till the last couple of years.
Right.
Democrats still controlled Kentucky, but there were a lot of people that were registered Democrats that always voted Republican in federal elections.
That's correct.
Not local or state, but federal, they would vote for Republicans.
It will be an uphill battle, whoever this person is that is nominated, simply because at the end of this arduous year-long process that they're about to enter, you will then get to face very likely U.S. Representative Jamie Comer
in the country.
What's that?
One of the most famous politicians in the country.
He is, whether you like him or not. You can pick him out of a lineup, and most people across the country who are involved in politics at all know who Jamie Comer is, and so he has name recognition. He has face recognition. People know who he is. He represents.
Lives in our town.
Lives in our town. Represents the 1st district, which comes from Paducah all the way up to
most of Western Kentucky
and all of Southern Kentucky. Yeah. And I think it's an uphill battle. I think what Rocky is going to have to do tomorrow is to establish how he is different than Jacqueline Coleman, and he is going to have to show those alignments with some of those Clinton Democrats. It's the only way I can put it.
Will he be a blue dog Democrat?
I think
if he's a yellow dog Democrat, he doesn't stand a chance.
Right.
Which I think Jacqueline Coleman will come out as this is old 1970s, 80s, early 90s terminology. But a yellow dog Democrat's a left-wing Democrat. Blue dog is middle of the road, slightly Democrat, with some conservative tendencies. Julian Carroll was the last Democrat to hold office that was a blue dog Democrat, but there were quite a few back in the day. And this race is going to be so fun to cover, and we'll cover it every day.
Oh, every day.
Every day, because there'll be stuff out every day, because they're going to have to campaign hard to win the primary next year. And it's starting tomorrow.
I don't think this will be the last person that jumps on the Democratic side. Now, I think that there will be some Republicans jump. I mean, listen,
there always is. There'll be 5 or 6.
There will. Michael Adams will probably run, who's our Secretary of State. Daniel Cameron's talking about running for this.
Give up.
People are talking about Thomas Massey possibly running for this position. I don't think that Thomas Massey can win statewide. I'm sorry.
He can't win Northern Kentucky.
He couldn't win his district, statewide. I don't think he's going to beat Jamie Comer.
Yeah, he got beat easily.
Yeah,
in his own district. So he probably needs to sit out an election.
Probably does.
Wait till Trump gets out of office.
Sometimes egos don't allow us to do what's
best. And he might be a certified genius. I know he as smart as can be.
Yeah.
Electrical engineer from MIT, and he'll be able to do whatever he wants. He might just say the heck with politics now.
He could. I don't foresee that being the case, but he absolutely could. Craig, what does Governor Beshear do?
Nothing. He'll say, I'm not.
You really think he'll stay out of it? You really think he can stay out of it?
He has to. Unless he see polling favoring one over the other, he has to. But he if he wants to run in the primary for president, he wants to win his own home state. But if he picks one over the other and divides the Democrat Party in Kentucky, and he loses all that Democrat support because he selected Rocky over Coleman or Coleman over Rocky, you see, that's the other thing. Governor Beshear always introduces himself as Andy. When he does a press conference, hey, this is Andy. Does a TV thing, this is Andy. Well, I just did it right there. I said Rocky versus Coleman.
Yeah.
Rocky's got the name. He's got so many, you can make so many memes with Rocky in Philadelphia. Rocky the Squirrel, so many different things.
Something.
But you refer to him by his first name.
Yeah.
You don't refer Jacqueline. Nobody, if you said Jacqueline's taking on Rocky, nobody would know who that is. No. But they would know who Rocky is.
And the flip side of that is people who are not political know the name Rocky Adkins. People who are not political, I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 could not pick Jacqueline. And I'm not denigrating. She's been a fine lieutenant governor. I have no problem with her.
Oh, we're just talking
I just don't think anybody can pick her out of a lineup. And I think that's a problem when you're running for the highest
and that's typical
position in the state.
Governor. That's typical lieutenant governor stuff. And like I said last week again, not to rehash stuff, but when Governor Beshear is around the Commonwealth taking the photos of bringing this industry in or that industry in, who's always at his side for 4 years or 7 years? Yeah. Rocky Adkins.
He has. Yeah. And Rocky Adkins is a serious candidate. Tomorrow's announcement should be treated as such. His legislative record is long. And for the first time in a long time, we will have two people. We will have Jamie Comer, who started in the state house, then became ag commissioner, then became our representative for the 1st district. Long legislative record. If Rocky Adkins
holds one of the most powerful positions in the federal government.
Yeah, and then you look at Rocky Adkins, who held one of the most powerful positions in state government for a very long time.
Which one was more powerful? The governor's senior advisor or the lieutenant governor?
The senior advisor.
That's what I say.
And it goes back to the old joke that we've told multiple times here when Jamie Comer said that, he found out that the lieutenant governor was mad at him, and he was like, why would Rocky be mad at me?
And when Governor Patton, back in my day, when Governor Patton was governor, Skipper Martin was his chief of staff. Skipper Martin was the man, not the lieutenant governor, not Steve
Speaking
Henry.
Of which, last week you challenged me on, do I remember any other Secretary of States? And the minute we got off, Trey Grayson. Trey Grayson,
right.
8 years. How did I miss Trey Grayson?
Right, yeah. You texted me, said Trey Grayson.
I feel bad. As soon as I got off the air, I texted you, Trey Grayson, and all that stuff. For any of you who are
it's going to be fun to cover this because it's going to be covered widely.
Oh, yeah. This will be important.
Social media will be a big part of it. YouTube will be a big part of it.
And it will be considered a referendum on Donald Trump. I mean, it will be. They're going to say, they're going to use this to say whether the Republicans have sustaining power, how it's going to affect the presidential election, whether it's Vance or Rubio or whoever else, because it's not even a bellwether state. We are a deeply red state. And if a Republican doesn't win this, they're going to say, well, then nationally, we got a shot.
Yeah, and J.D. Vance has got family here. He grew up here for a little while before he went back to Ohio. And so this will be a national governor's race. This will get the attention of the country because of everything you just said. And will J.D. Vance weigh in because it's Eastern Kentucky? Does J.D. Vance know Rocky? Because they're both from Eastern Kentucky.
I have no doubt that
they do. Bet
Yeah.
you $1 they do. But JD Vance and Comer, I bet they speak weekly.
Oh, probably in their own signal chat.
It's going to be Kentucky's going to be a spotlight state with JD Vance possibly running for president, Andy possibly running for president, Comer, another national figure, running for governor.
And let's not be. Comer is a potential presidential candidate at some point, if not right. I mean, he would be available right now.
About it. Yeah. We've talked about it.
You could essentially have two people from Frankfort, Kentucky, running for
James,
for president of the United States.
Yeah, you keep this good stuff going, man. You could run for president one day. But then you got Rand Paul and you got Mitch McConnell's replacement. The eyes of the country are going to be on Kentucky because of so many things going on.
Speaking of which, before we get to the weather aspects, you saw the latest picture that came out this weekend that Mitch McConnell, their proof of life, he's wearing the same shirt.
Right.
There's all sorts of problems with the picture, the background.
The room
number's on the inside of the room.
Is 214, but then the room number on the right, where they normally are in a hospital, is 211 above, 214 on the right.
Yeah.
The reflection off the guy's glasses, the young fellow's glasses,
doesn't look real.
It's not real.
Yeah.
I mean, it is obvious AI.
And then they took a picture. You and I were. Who's the young lady on X that you and I keep following? She's been great, by the way. I don't know her.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
If she doesn't have any particular leanings, it is fascinating to me the stuff she's picking up. There was almost like a paparazzi picture of Elaine Chao, but she's wearing a long overcoat and a hood in the middle of like 95-degree weather in Washington. Like, none of it makes sense. None of this makes sense, and it's terrible for the people of Kentucky because we know we're not being represented in the U.S. Senate fairly right now.
Right.
That's the worst part about it. And
it's going to be tough to tell what's AI generated and what is not.
Harder and harder.
There's an AI generated image of a girl that is doing movies that Hollywood is tore up about because she is so realistic. I can't think of the name.
She has an IMDb page. They all,
you know what I'm talking about, right?
Because they're casting this AI actress.
Hollywood is scared to death because you can make an image and run a movie and save millions of dollars by not paying these Hollywood elites.
Yeah.
And you can't tell the darn difference.
Well,
so good deeds. Who would be the best choice? Write in and tell us.
Yeah, tell us
who would be the best choice, because we've talked about 6 or 7 different people.
Yeah. Well, I will also say that when it comes on the Mitch McConnell aspect, I'm very frustrated with somebody like Scott Jennings, who has built a firebrand of being just this.
He's the man on CNN.
Tell it to you straight kind of guy. And then he kind of went with the flow and, talked about his 20-minute phone conversation.
Yeah, he started the whole 20-minute meme.
And if you have a slight case of pneumonia and you had a bit of a dizzy spell, you're not in the hospital for 6 weeks. You're not. You're just not. And that's the reality of it. If that's the case, then you got to worry about your healthcare professionals because they're not doing their job.
And you go off what the paramedics radioed in. That's all. It doesn't matter what nobody else said. The guy was getting CPR. You get CPR for you're either not breathing or there's some cardiac event. And as paramedics have told us, less than 20% of people that suffer that kind of thing
ever regain consciousness.
And
less than 2 to 3 ever.
Yeah, and a slight sports thing. An 18-year-old high school basketball player had the same thing that Senator of South Carolina that died.
Oh, Lindsey Graham. He
had this aortic dissection, but they got him to the hospital in time, and he survived. Now, it wasn't as bad as probably what people normally, because I think it's only like a 30% or less survival rate.
It is.
Not 30% even getting to the hospital.
Get to the hospital, and then 2 to 3%.
Very deadly thing.
Yeah.
But Lindsey Graham obviously didn't get to the hospital quick enough. But there's a whole story where the AI Rocky
would be
the trainer. They run it quick. They called an ambulance quick. Paramedics did their thing to get him to the hospital, and he went straight to surgery, and he survived. Now, I don't know if he'll ever play basketball again, but he's a 6'9", 18-year-old. Hopefully he can get back to sports, but don't know that.
Well, before we get out of here, you sent me this. We're getting some bad weather right now. I didn't think it was supposed to start till tomorrow, but tomorrow there is a heightened chance based on NATOcast. Is that what it is? NATOcast? They're a heightened tornado activity in all of Kentucky, but especially especially central and eastern and northern Kentucky. And then this is from Chris Bailey's
WKYT.
Twitter. Yeah, he's with WKYT. He's their chief meteorologist. The threat for severe storms and flash flooding continues for Tuesday. There are 2 threats that are coming through, essentially 10 to 2, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Got to keep your head on a swivel. Be prepared for lots of rain and wind and hail are big. And then 5 to 10 p.m. tomorrow night, another round coming through. But we are in that eye right now where you're looking at about 75-mile-an-hour winds and 2-inch hail potentially.
Yeah. And Ryan Hall, y'all, is already online for the weather, like in Iowa and Illinois is coming our way. He came on when we did. And then another one of the national weather guys, they're both live on air right now talking about the storms not coming to Kentucky, where they're actually at right now. There's some tornado activity in Iowa and stuff, but that's the stuff that's heading to Kentucky tomorrow.
Yeah, good deed.
So keep your eyes open.
Good deed says there was an 18-minute wait. You're absolutely correct. They waited a little too long for him.
Yeah, they got this guy.
I didn't have a shot.
They had an ambulance immediately called.
Yeah. Anything before we get out of here, Craig?
Nope. Good show again, and
busy weekend. Yeah. Obviously, we always say this, but if anything happens, we will jump online.
It's happening in Iran right now.
Yeah, it's going down right now. But I will also
video that's an Arab website.
Yep.
And they're showing see those moving trucks.
Yep.
We're taking them out right now.
Yeah.
That was posted. It says urgent. The U.S. Army releases video of stealth aircraft bombing missile sites in Tehran and Bandar Abbas.
Well, that on Saturday, Saturday afternoon, they allowed the tanker planes to take off without transponders out of England. So that, to me, this is a
flight radar. I saw those on flight radar.
You only do that for one reason, and that's because you're gassing up stealth planes.
Right. So. When we bombed the original nuclear thing, if you're watching on Flight Radar 24 or one of the others, you can see the planes, and then all of a sudden they disappear right on screen. So that tells you, that tipped off a lot of people.
They get to a certain point
that we were getting ready to do. Well, they'd be about a quarter of the way over the Atlantic, and then they would disappear. They're flying out of Colorado, and then they disappear. So everybody's, on Twitter and everything saying something's going to happen because the strato tankers are disappearing from radar.
Yeah, intentionally, and they're taking off from London or outside of London. So yesterday they knocked out all the airports. Apparently they're going to continue that tonight. Good Deed says we need to go to UK tomorrow. We need to talk some serious UK stuff. We will catch up with all the news that we can tomorrow.
To go see Rocky's speech.
Yeah, well, I will tell you that
going on with UK right now.
Well, you and I talked this weekend. They had the TBT tournament this weekend. Right. Good win
we won over
La Familia. But one of the big comments that has been going on is, where's Justin McBride and what's up with Cam? We can tell you all right now, and we'll talk about this tomorrow. Justin is fine. He was sick. His dad shut that down on social media over the weekend. He says, I'm not going to do this for every time this happens. The kid's been sick. He was in Vegas, as opposed to what was said in this social media post. He was out in Vegas. He's doing just fine. However, Cam is still in a boot, but you and I reported on this a month ago that his dad.
When Greg Williams Sr. was on air with us, yeah.
And
I had a phone call the next day about
he will be in a boot and on walking crutches, essentially until school starts. Yeah. So once school is starting back up, I'd say they will remove that boot, and he will get into fall practice. So
yeah, he's probably not wearing the boot around the house. He's walking around the house, and it's not as his dad said. He's 85% back to where he was before he hurt his foot, and they're just letting it, instead of doing surgery or anything like that, they're just letting it heal normally, not out of the line at all for what they're doing. I've been through it when I broke my ankle.
Yep.
Not falling. Well, I guess I did fall off a wall onto a concrete, but I landed on my feet, and it took 4 months for it to heal properly before I could get out of a walking boot. And but of course I'm a lot older than him, so he'll heal up good. Nothing to worry about with Cam at all either. So we're still going to be loaded.
Yeah, CBS Sports this weekend came out with the top 10 offensive line rankings
for football.
University of Kentucky came in
third.
Okay. Third best offensive line in the country. And there are people who are saying we might have the best offensive line in the country.
Which is something we've been lacking for 15 years.
Well, since John Schlarman died. So, for the last 5 years.
The whole line.
Yeah.
Not just one or two guys.
No, I agree. This is probably our best one. We went into the portal and got 2 top 10 guys, and then we took a couple of other guys who were top 25 guys. So,
which will allow the Oregon offense to be displayed, because our quarterback will have an extra half a second to get the ball off, to allow the guys to get downfield. It's going to be exciting.
It is going to be fun. September 5th, we get started against Young.
We'll dig up some UK information for tomorrow.
Yep,
I'm sure Kyle's got plenty.
Oh yeah, we got tons. We'll talk about that as well. Craig, we've talked about just about everything. My friend, thank you for always being here. I can't do this without you. And we will be here tomorrow at 5:00. We'll do some UK stuff tomorrow so that we can get back onto that and people can have some fun with that. To everyone watching and listening, thank you for being here today. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you click on that notification bell. It doesn't cost you anything. Helps us out. Helps the algorithm out a lot. We can't thank you enough.
Share us on your social media pages.
Yeah, just share the link. That we can't thank you enough if you were to do that, especially for anybody else who needs to be above the noise. But until next time, make sure that you stay informed, stay sharp, stay above the noise. You guys have a great Monday night. Stay safe out there. Talk to you soon.